All right, so you want to dive into this whole financial independence thing, huh? We've got Grant Sabatier's book, Financial Freedom, here, and it's packed with stories about people who actually did it. Reached financial independence way before the typical retirement age. So we're going to hear about their journeys, what worked for them, and maybe even uncover some aha moments that you could apply to your own life.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. The book kind of challenges this whole idea that you have to work like crazy for decades before you can really enjoy life. Like Sabatier says that with the right approach, anyone making a decent income could reach financial independence within 10 to 15 years.
Okay, so before we go too far, let's define what we mean by financial independence. It's not about winning a lottery or anything. The book defines it as having enough passive income from your investments to cover all of your living expenses. So basically, working becomes optional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of flips the script on that whole work till you drop mentality. And Sabatier doesn't just focus on the financial stuff. He really emphasizes the emotional transformation that comes with financial freedom too.
Right. He even has this great quote about how it felt after he reached financial independence. It's a warm summer morning and the air smells like flowers. Today feels free, like those days when you were a kid. This is all I wanted. As it turns out, success wasn't about money, it was about peace. So yeah, it's way more than just the numbers.
Absolutely. But to actually get to that feeling of peace, you need a solid plan. And that's where the practical side comes in. The book's full of real-life examples of people who achieve this, and I think those stories can be incredibly motivating.
Yeah, okay, let's hear about some of these folks who made it happen. First up, we have Steve. He worked in IT for 12 years, but wasn't exactly loving it.
And his big aha moment came when he got married to Courtney. They both had decent incomes, and they realized that together they could really ramp up their savings.
Okay, so they decided to go all in on this financial independence thing.
Yeah, they committed to saving a whopping 70% of their combined income.
Wow, 70%. That takes serious dedication. What were they working towards, though? What was driving them to save that much?
Their big dream was to travel the country in their Airstream camper. They wanted the freedom to, experience life on their own terms, not be tied to their desks.
Okay, so they had this vision of freedom, but how did they actually get there? Did the book mention any specific strategies they used?
Well, they focused on automating their investments and really stuck to their plan. They were really meticulous about tracking their expenses and finding ways to cut costs without, sacrificing their happiness. And it paid off. By age 35, they had reached their goal of $890,000.
That's incredible. And then they just quit their jobs and hit the road.
Yep, they were aiming to live on about $25,000 to $30,000 per year, which their investments could easily cover.
But wait, that means they left their jobs with less than $1 million. Wouldn't their money eventually run out?
That's where the magic of compound interest comes in. Remember we talked about how your investments can actually generate more income? Well, even after they quit their jobs, their net worths continued to grow. In less than a year, they were already over $1 million.
It's like a snowball effect, right? The more you have invested, the faster it grows. Steve even says in the book, instead, I can think free and clear and make choices that directly affect my happiness rather than my pocketbook. I wouldn't trade this kind of freedom for all the money in the world. He seems genuinely happy with their decision.
And that brings us to a key takeaway from the book. Financial freedom is really about having the power to say no, to choose what you want to do with your time and energy, rather than being constrained by financial obligations.
Yeah, it's about aligning your actions with your values and making choices based on what truly matters to you.
Exactly. It's not about depriving yourself, but about being intentional with your resources and focusing on the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. And the stories in the book really illustrate that point.
So Steve and Courtney achieved financial freedom through diligently saving and investing. But are there other paths? Like, what about people who don't have, super high incomes?
Well, let's talk about Michelle. She was a financial analyst, but then quit her job in 2013 to become a full-time blogger.
Whoa, a full-time blogger. That's a pretty big leap of faith. What made her decide to do that?
Her blog, MakingSenseOfSense.com, started as a side hustle. But after she paid off her student loans and started seeing some success, she realized she could actually make a living from it.
So she took a calculated risk and it paid off. That's pretty inspiring. But how does she actually achieve financial independence through blogging?
She focused on building an audience and generating income through advertising and affiliate marketing. And remember how Steve and Courtney saved 70%? Well, Michelle was saving a staggering 90% of her income.
Wait, 90%? How's that even possible? Was she living like a hermit?
Not at all. She actually emphasizes that, true fulfillment doesn't come from extravagant spending. She lives a comfortable life, but is very intentional with her spending. She even has a quote in the book: "Many people think they need a huge house, car payments, and more in order to be happy in life, but that's just not the case."
So she was basically proving that you can be happy without being caught up in that whole consumerist
Mhm.
mindset.
Exactly. And her blog actually became wildly successful. She ended up earning over $1.5 million from it and achieved financial independence at just 28 years old.
Wow, 28. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So what's she doing now? Did she set any other financial goals after hitting that milestone?
She actually hasn't set any other specific financial goals and has no plans to retire anytime soon. She genuinely loves what she does. The book says, "Life is great. I work less than 10 hours a week, and I can do what I love most, travel full-time with my husband and our 2 dogs."
That's awesome. It really highlights the fact that, financial independence isn't necessarily about stopping work altogether. It's about having the choice to work on your own terms, doing something you love.
And it also shows that there are multiple paths to financial independence. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay, so we've seen how saving a high percentage of income and building a successful side hustle can lead to financial freedom. What other strategies are highlighted in the book?
Well, sometimes it involves a bold career change. Let's talk about Anita. She was working in insurance, putting in crazy hours, like up to 70 hours a week.
Wow, that's intense. I can see how that would get old fast. Did she reach some sort of breaking point?
Yeah, the workload was taking a toll on her mental health. She was actually struggling with depression. Her turning point came when she realized that to achieve financial freedom quickly, she needed to boost her earning potential.
So what does she do? Does she switch jobs within the insurance industry?
She made a much bolder move.
Yeah.
She decided to go to law school.
Law school. That's a big decision, especially financially. Was she worried about taking on so much student debt?
It was a calculated risk.
Mm.
But she knew that if she could land a high-paying job after graduating, she could pay off the debt quickly and accelerate her savings. Her goal was to specialize in mergers and acquisitions, which is a very lucrative area of law.
So she basically invested in her future earning potential. That's pretty smart, but did it pay off?
Absolutely. After graduating, she landed a coveted position at a prestigious law firm and started earning a six-figure salary.
Okay, so she was making good money. But did she fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation? Spending more just because you're earning more?
Not at all.
Yeah.
She stuck to her frugal habits, lived in a modest apartment, and bought mostly used items.
So she basically maintained her previous lifestyle even though her income had skyrocketed. That takes a lot of discipline. How much was she saving?
She saved an incredible 85% of her salary, which ranged from $160,000 to $310,000 during her 5 years at the firm. She even managed to pay off her $100,000 in student loans within the first year.
Wow, that's some serious financial dedication. So how long did it take her to reach financial independence?
At 33, she had achieved her goal and walked away from her high-powered legal career. Her colleagues were shocked, but she had planned for this all along. She says in the book, "To have control of your time and your life goes such a long way. If you are living the life you design, how can you not be happy?"
Yeah, it seems like her journey was really about regaining control of her time and energy. She wasn't just chasing money. She was pursuing a life where she could design her own days and focus on what truly mattered to her.
Exactly. And that's a powerful message. Financial freedom isn't just about the numbers. It's about the freedom to live a life that aligns with your values and aspirations.
All right, we've heard some pretty incredible stories so far. Steve and Courtney hit the road in their Airstream. Michelle built a successful blog, and Anita made a strategic career pivot. It seems like there's no single right way to reach financial independence. But what about those who take a more gradual approach? Like, what about someone who starts investing without necessarily having a specific financial goal in mind?
Well, that's exactly how Justin's journey began. He worked as a civil engineer for 10 years, starting with a salary of $48,000 back in 2004, which eventually increased to $69,000 by 2013.
So he wasn't earning a crazy high income, but he still managed to achieve financial independence. How did that happen?
It started quite serendipitously. He found himself with some extra money at the end of each month and decided to start investing. He wasn't really aiming for early retirement at that point. He just wanted to put his money to work.
That's a smart move. But did he eventually set a specific financial goal? Like, how much did he aim to save?
As he got deeper into personal finance, he realized that he could actually achieve financial independence much earlier than the traditional retirement age. Initially, he and his wife set a target of $2.5 million.
Okay, so they had a big, ambitious goal, but did they stick to that number or did their plan evolve over time?
They actually discovered they could comfortably live on less than they initially thought. So they adjusted their goals somewhere between $1.3 million and $1.4 million.
That's a good point. It's important to remain flexible and adjust your goals as your needs and understanding change. So they were aiming for around $1.4 million. Do they have a strict savings rate? Like, were they putting away a specific percentage of their income each month?
They didn't have a fixed rate, but embraced a frugal lifestyle, consistently saving whatever was left after covering their essential expenses. Their savings rate fluctuated between 50% and 70% most years.
Wow, those are some impressive savings rates. It sounds like they found a balance that worked for them without feeling overly restricted. But how did Justin actually reach financial independence? Was it a gradual process or did something unexpected happen?
Well, it actually happened a bit unexpectedly. At 33, he was let go from his job.
Oh no, that sounds stressful. Was he worried about his financial situation?
Not at all. Instead of panicking, he ran the numbers and realized he had already achieved financial freedom.
Wait, so he got laid off, but it was actually a good thing.
It turned out to be a blessing in disguise. He had been so focused on reaching his financial goal that he hadn't fully realized how close he was. He even reflects on this in the book, saying, "I still get a smile on my face every time I think about how fortunate I am to be in this position. It's 11 a.m. in the middle of the week, and I'm lying in the hammock reading a book every day if I want. That makes me happy."
That's fantastic. He was basically forced to take a break and realize that he'd already achieved the freedom he'd been working towards.
Yeah, it really highlights the importance of regularly checking in on your progress and not being afraid to reevaluate your goals. Sometimes life throws you a curveball, but if you're financially prepared, you can turn a potential crisis into an opportunity.
Okay, so far we've heard from individuals and couples who reached financial independence, but what about those who prioritize financial freedom as a shared goal from the very beginning?
Let's talk about Christy and Bryce. They worked in IT in Canada and, unlike many others, weren't interested in the traditional route of buying a house. Their main focus was escaping the corporate grind. They felt trapped in a daily cycle of just surviving and hoarding money to eventually break free.
It sounds like they were really yearning for something more fulfilling, but how did they manage to save so effectively without investing in real estate? Isn't that a common way to build wealth?
They simply chose to prioritize their financial freedom goal above the societal pressure to own a home. They lived frugally, rented a modest apartment, and invested aggressively in the stock market.
So they were going against the grain and focusing on what truly mattered to them. How did that approach work out for them?
Their savings grew rapidly, and they achieved financial independence at the ages of 31 and 32, with just over $1 million saved.
Wow, that's incredible. They reached their goal in their early 30s without relying on real estate. So what are they up to now? Are they just relaxing and enjoying their freedom?
Their focus has shifted from personal gain to making a positive impact on the world. They've become passionate about volunteering and supporting causes they believe in. They actually say in the book, when we wake up in the morning, we think about what can we do to help the world rather than what can we do to help ourselves.
That's inspiring. So they went from feeling trapped in the corporate grind to living a life of purpose and making a difference. What kind of causes are they involved in?
They're particularly passionate about promoting diversity and inclusion. They volunteer for We Need Diverse Books, a nonprofit organization that advocates for diversity in children's literature.
That's awesome. It's great that they're using their newfound freedom to give back to the community. Do they share their financial knowledge with others as well?
Yes, they actually run a blog called millennial-revolution.com, where they share their insights about investing and achieving financial independence.
Yeah, it's amazing how their story demonstrates the transformative power of financial freedom. It's not just about having money, it's about having the time and resources to pursue your passions and make a positive impact on the world. All right, we've got one last story to cover in this segment. This one's about JP, who reached financial independence at a remarkably young age.
JP retired at the age of 28 with over $2 million. She built her wealth through a successful career in financial services.
Whoa, 28 with $2 million. That's incredible. But wait, wasn't she interested in a completely different field originally?
She actually started out wanting to be a writer. She even majored in liberal arts in college.
So how did she end up in finance?
During an on-campus interview, she had a chance encounter with a financial services company and realized the earning potential in that industry.
Ah, so she saw it as a strategic path to achieve her bigger goals.
Exactly. She decided to use her finance career as a means to achieve early retirement and then pursue her passion for writing.
That's a really interesting perspective. But wasn't she tempted to spend more once she started earning a high salary? You know, like those who fall into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses.
She was incredibly disciplined and resisted the temptation to inflate her lifestyle. Even though she lived in New York City, one of the most expensive places in the world, she managed to save a huge portion of her income.
So how does she swing that? Did she have some secret budgeting tricks?
She lived well below her means. She rented a tiny 300 square foot apartment and was very conscious about her spending.
So she was basically prioritizing her long-term goals over short-term gratification. How much was she able to save with that approach?
She saved at least 80% of her income, which allowed her to retire after just 5 years in the industry.
5 years. That's amazing. So what's she doing now that she's reached financial independence? Is she finally pursuing her writing dreams?
She's now dedicating her time to writing, enjoying simple pleasures like walking her dog and spending time with family. She also shares her financial wisdom through her blog, themoneyhabit.org.
It's incredible how she used her financial savvy to create the life she wanted. It really reinforces the idea that money is a tool you can control, not something that should control you.
And that's another important message from the book. It's about understanding how money works and harnessing its power to achieve your goals rather than being a slave to it.
These stories have been so inspiring. We've seen how people from different backgrounds with different incomes and lifestyles can achieve financial independence. It's clear that there's no single path to success, but there are definitely some common threads running through these stories.
Absolutely. Each story is unique, but they all highlight the importance of having a clear vision, being intentional with your spending and saving, and being willing to adapt and adjust your strategies along the way.
So are we ready to move beyond the individual stories and dig into some of the broader principles and actionable advice that Sabatier outlines in his book?
Yeah, I think it's time we connect these inspiring journeys to the practical wisdom offered by Sabatier.
So we met Steve and Courtney, the adventurous Airstream travelers, and Michelle, the savvy blogger who turned her passion into a thriving business, and Anita, the lawyer who made a strategic career pivot, Justin, the accidental early retiree, Christy and Bryce, the couple who prioritized experiences over homeownership, and JP, the young achiever who retired at 28 to pursue her writing dreams. Pretty amazing stories, right?
Yeah, what really stands out to me is that none of them followed a conventional path. They each defined their own version of success and just went after it, even if it meant like challenging societal norms or taking calculated risks.
It's like they were playing by a different set of rules. They didn't just accept that whole work till you're 65 narrative.
Yeah.
They took control and created lives that aligned with their values.
Right. And a common thread that runs through their stories is this idea that money is a tool, not a master. They were all so intentional about how they earned, spent, saved, and invested their money. It wasn't about hoarding wealth. It was about using it strategically to achieve their goals.
Yeah, they all seem to have this real sense of ownership over their finances. It wasn't this mysterious force controlling their lives. It was something they could understand and manage.
Exactly. And they weren't afraid to educate themselves about personal finance, to ask questions and seek out resources, things that could help them make informed decisions.
And they weren't afraid to take calculated risks, whether it was switching careers like Anita starting a side hustle like Michelle, or investing aggressively in the stock market like Christy and Bryce.
Yeah, that willingness to step outside of their comfort zones is a big part of what allowed them to accelerate their progress. They recognize that calculated risks can often lead to bigger opportunities and rewards.
But it wasn't just about the numbers, right? They also seemed to prioritize personal growth, relationships, and giving back to the community.
Absolutely. Financial freedom is just one piece of the puzzle. True wealth encompasses so much more than just money. It's about living a fulfilling life that includes strong relationships, personal growth, and making a positive impact on the world.
Okay, so let's dive into a few more stories that illustrate these principles. The book talks about Brandon, a web developer who focused on saving as much as possible right from his first job.
Yeah, Brandon's story really highlights the power of consistent saving and leveraging career growth to your advantage. He was very strategic about his career choices, consistently securing 15% to 25% salary raises by moving between companies.
So he wasn't afraid to negotiate for what he was worth and make career moves that aligned with his financial goals.
Exactly. He recognized that increasing his income was a key factor in accelerating his path to financial independence. And he also embraced remote work, which gave him more flexibility and control over his time.
And he wasn't on this journey alone, right? He had his wife Jill on board with their shared financial goals.
Right. They worked as a team, keeping their living expenses low and finding a spending level that brought them happiness without feeling excessive. And they were also smart about utilizing tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and IRAs to reduce their tax burden and grow their savings faster.
Okay, so they were making smart choices about saving and investing, but did they follow a specific budgeting method? Like, did they track every penny?
They didn't obsess over tracking every single expense, but
Yeah.
they were mindful of their overall spending patterns
Yeah.
and made conscious choices that aligned with their values and priorities.
So they found a balance that worked for them without feeling overly restricted or deprived. How long did it take them to achieve financial independence with this approach?
They reached their goal at the age of 32. Now Brandon spends his time pursuing his passion for music and educating others about financial optimization through his blog, madfientist.com.
That's awesome. He's using his financial freedom to pursue his creative interests and help others achieve their goals. What about Jill? Did she quit her job too?
Jill actually continues to work because she genuinely enjoys her job. It's a great example of how financial independence isn't just about quitting work altogether. It's about having the choice to work or not, and to pursue what truly brings you fulfillment.
Yeah, it's about having the freedom to design your life on your own terms, whether that involves working or not.
Brandon sums it up perfectly in the book. I was out late the other night, and I was like, I'm going to be really tired in the morning. Then I remembered there's nothing on my schedule that needs to get done. Even though I want to be productive every day, I don't have to be. It's just an amazing feeling to know that my day is my own. I recommend it to anyone. It's totally worth any sacrifice it takes to get there.
It's that sense of liberation, right? Knowing that you're not bound by financial constraints and that you have the power to choose how you spend your time and energy. It's a powerful feeling.
Yeah, and that freedom allows individuals to make choices that are truly aligned with their values and passions.
Okay, we've heard so many inspiring stories. But what are some of the overarching takeaways from the book? What does Sabatier ultimately want us to understand about money and financial freedom?
You know, he wants readers to recognize that money has the potential to change your life for the better. It can open doors to opportunities, empower you to help others, and allow you to live a life that's truly authentic to who you are.
But he's not saying that money is the be-all and end-all, right?
Exactly. He cautions against making money your sole focus. He reminds us that money is a reflection of who you are. How you save and invest, what you buy, and the charities you support are all a reflection of you. How you spend your money is how you value the world.
So it's not just about accumulating wealth, it's about using it in a way that reflects your values and makes a positive impact on the world around you.
Right. The key is to control money, not let it control you.
Yeah.
He encourages open and honest conversations about money to demystify it and empower individuals to make informed financial decisions.
That's so important. So many people feel uncomfortable talking about money, but it's such a crucial part of our lives. The more we talk about it, the less power it has over us.
And he writes, money is no longer some abstract, confusing thing that you want. It's something you have and know how to get. Once you know how money works, you can let it go and come to it on your own terms. Instead of a worry, it becomes an opportunity. As you start saving and making more money, other changes will start happening in your life. You will worry less, feel more in control, and have more opportunities. As you master money, you gain freedom through it.
I love that shift from worry to opportunity. It's about reclaiming your power and agency when it comes to your finances.
Right. And ultimately, Sabatier emphasizes that time, not money, is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
It's about creating a life where you have the time to do what truly matters to you.
It's about having the freedom to spend your days on your own terms, whether that's pursuing a passion, spending time with loved ones, traveling, or simply enjoying the simple pleasures of life.
He urges us to live your own life, not the one your neighbor or your coworker or the people on social media are living. Too many people get caught up in living a life they feel like they need to live, the life others think they should live. But it's your life, not theirs. It's your time, not theirs. We all get only one life, so live your own. You don't need a nice car or a big house to live an insanely amazing life. In fact, you don't even need a house or car at all. Don't be one of those people who look back on their lives and wish they had been their true selves. The world needs you to be you.
That's such a powerful message. It's about embracing authenticity and rejecting the pressure to conform to external expectations.
And he stresses the importance of prioritizing relationships and health, reminding us that these are invaluable assets that money can't buy. He encourages readers to embrace calculated risks, acknowledging that fear can often hold us back from growth and fulfillment.
He even writes, life, like investing, is about taking calculated risks. It's easy to sit back and play it safe. It's wired into our DNA. Don't touch the fire. Don't peek over that cliff. Fear keeps us safe. It keeps us alive. But it also keeps us from truly living, from growing, and from getting ahead. The more money you have, the more risks you can take. When you take risks, it will lead to bigger opportunities, experiences, stories, and a richer life.
And he advocates for a mindset of continuous learning, adaptation, and optimization.
Yeah, he even says, keep testing and optimizing. Don't be afraid to recalibrate. Life is about learning, balancing, adapting, spending and saving, risk and reward. The strategies you've learned work. Put them into practice and keep at it.
And throughout the book, he emphasizes the power of community and helping others.
Yeah.
He reminds us that we are all on the same journey around the sun.
It's a reminder that we're all in this together and that sharing our experiences and knowledge can empower others to achieve their own financial goals.
Yeah, he encourages readers to share their stories, talk about money openly, and support each other along the way.
And he offers a powerful reminder about perspective and gratitude.
He writes, stop and take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Look around you. Take in the moment, the light, the sounds, the people, and be grateful for what you do have. It's already so much more than most people have. The median income globally is only $1,225 a year. If you make $34,000 per year, you are in the top 1% of the entire world.
It's a call to appreciate the abundance we often take for granted and recognize that even small steps toward financial freedom can make a significant difference in our life. Okay, we've explored so much of Sabatier's wisdom in this deep dive. It's clear he wants readers to not just understand financial independence, but to feel empowered to achieve it.
Absolutely. And his book provides both the inspiration and the practical guidance to do just that.
It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
And lose sight of the bigger picture. That reminder about global income really puts things in perspective.
Yeah, it definitely does. And you know what? Sabatier doesn't end the book on a somber note. He leaves us with this really powerful message of hope and possibility. He wants readers to know that financial independence is attainable, no matter where they're starting from.
So he's not just sharing inspiring stories. He's providing a roadmap to help people actually achieve this for themselves.
Exactly. He writes, financial independence is about having the freedom to do whatever you want. You can have it. Making a lot of money quickly is possible. Having more time is possible. Living life on your own terms is possible. You have a unique opportunity that many don't. You really can have all the money you'll ever need.
It's a call to action, right? He's challenging us to take ownership of our financial destinies and create lives that are truly fulfilling.
Yeah, he doesn't want readers to just passively consume information. He wants them to apply it, to take concrete steps toward their goals.
So what does all of this mean for you, our listener? We've explored the core concepts of financial independence. We've heard inspiring stories of individuals who achieved it, and we've uncovered the underlying principles that guided their journeys. Now it's time to reflect on what resonates most with you, Durin.
Here's a thought-provoking question to ponder. What would you do with your time if work wasn't a necessity? What kind of impact could you make on the world?
Yeah, that's a great question to sit with for a while. Maybe it's traveling the world, pursuing a creative passion, starting a business, spending more time with loved ones, or dedicating yourself to a cause you care deeply about. Whatever it is, financial freedom can give you the power to make those dreams a reality.
It's about aligning your actions with your values and creating a life that truly reflects who you are and what you want to contribute to the world.
So we encourage you to take the insights from this deep dive and apply them to your own life. Start by defining your own version of financial freedom, setting clear goals, and developing a plan to achieve them. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
And don't be afraid to seek out resources. Connect with others who share your aspirations and celebrate your progress along the way.
Because as we've learned from these inspiring stories, financial freedom isn't just about the money. It's about the freedom to live a life filled with purpose, joy, and impact.
And that's a freedom worth striving for.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.